Hello and a warm welcome back to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Racecourse, the venue for our local race meeting here on Tuesday, the 30th of April, with 9 races on the program, and certainly looks to be a great day of racing ahead as we are here situated in the Pocket Power Lounge on the second floor at HQ. It's a wonderful place to come out with friends and family to enjoy a great day of racing, and that's certainly what is installed on this Tuesday. But before we get into the preview, one small favor to ask: please leave a like, follow and subscribe on all of our social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel, with all of our perfectly placed interviews, as well as our previews, which happen just before the race meeting. We start off with race number 1 is the Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Welcome Zoo Maiden Juvenile Plate for the fillies, and it's over the distance of 1,200 meters. The only problem with the first race is that out of the 14 runners, 9 of them are unraced. So it's certainly a race where you have to look into the betting as a market mover, as a guide for the first race. But out of the raced runners, number 6 Artiste certainly looks to be the right horse on form. Finished second on debut behind Tanneron, who ultimately just found one better on the day. And Tanneron certainly a filly that has plenty of wins under the belt. I think she's of a high sort, and her wins won't stop here. So Artiste, based on her debut run, finishing 3 lengths off her, she should be the one that they all have to beat. She's impeccably well bred, a daughter of Canford Cliff's out of Dancer's Daughter, who certainly needs no introduction to the racing world in South Africa. Out of the rest of the raced runners, number 1 Maritzburg Memory, she's open to further improvement from her debut run. And number 2 Back at the George, where she finished 3rd last time out, 6.5 lengths behind Kinda Wonderful. She did show improvement in that run, and another runner that should continue to improve. Out of the unraced runners, there's not a great amount of confidence coming from the trainer comments. Probably the one with the most amount of confidence is number 10, Vixen in the Vineyard from the Paul Reeves stable. The trainer comment is that she's a very nice filly and she may just need the experience. Race number 2, this is the Cape Racing Sales Maiden Plate. It's over 1,200 meters and it is a field of 11 runners. It's the opening leg of the bipot. Of course, there's 9 races on the program, so the place accumulator will ultimately start in race 3, the pitch 6 in race 4, and both jackpots 1 and 2 will start off in races 5 and 6 respectively. Interesting race with a few juveniles taking on the older horses, and we will side with the younger crop. And number 4, 8 on 18, the son of Lancaster Bomber. On debut, he finished second behind Ramaforkeza, and he moved up like he was going to absolutely win in a canter at the 400-meter mark. But under a top ride on the other horse, on Ramaforkeza, Richard Fourie was able to find the best of him, and ultimately 8 on 18 just found one better on the day. With that run under the belt and natural improvements inspected in his second start, for me, he looks to be one of the better bets on the card. The races certainly open up towards the end of the race meeting, and I think you can go short here with number 4, 8 on 18. Out of the older runners in the race, number 10, the US of A in the salts of Mr. Robert Bloomberg. Patrick Cray is the trainer, and Bernard Veidherbe, an interesting jockey aboard. And he shows quite a quick turn of foot, is the US of A. Last time out, I think he just shot ultimately too early, and he was left wanting in the closing stages and ultimately hung out towards the outside of the track. If he's ridden a bit colder and a bit of a softer ride, I certainly think that he'll be able to quicken up at the right time in the closing stages, and he should be finishing off his race quite strongly. Also, don't leave out the chances. Number 3, Surge of Power, and 11, Late December from the Dread Onion stable. Both of them ran quite well on debut as juveniles and ultimately taken on older company. A bit of a tougher task, but they should be able to finish in the back end of quartets. Race number 3 is the opening leg of the place accumulator. It's the Cape Turf Club Maiden, Open Maiden, and it is over 1,400 meters. The off time is at 1:15. It's a field of 13 runners, and this is where the value bet, I think, lies here. Also, once again, in the source of Mr. Robert Bloomberg, and that's number 2, Golden Grey from the Vaughan Marshall stable. I don't think he'll necessarily win, but based on his last start, he was super unlucky. It was a day when the runners ultimately went to the middle outside of the track, and thankfully everything was okay with Jabu Jacobs, but at one stage I thought he was going to fall over the outside rail. It was a day when the jockeys turned into cowboys, and thankfully Jabu pulled off the race all right, but he was really starting to find a good finish with Golden Grey, the son of Denon Platina. That was over 1,600 meters. He drops back and tripped back to 1,400 meters, which I think might just be a slight issue. But certainly a runner that should improve on his latest run. I think he could have at least finished another 2 lengths closer than what that 3-length beating margin suggests. The horse that they arguably have to beat on paper is number 4, Charlotte Bronte, the half-sister to none other than Charles Dickens. She's only had 3 starts to date, but she's shown improvements with every single run. Now it's her first run in open maiden company. She will be receiving weight of 57 kilograms and is probably the one that they all have to beat. Respect number 6, Congressman, as well as number 11, Tsunami Warning. Tsunami Warning actually holds Golden Grey based on that last run, but as I said, I think with luck in running, Golden Grey certainly would have finished a lot closer. Race number 4 is the opening leg of the picked 6 on the day, and it's not really the easiest opening legs. I think the suggested play would be to take field in the first leg of the picked 6. The Cape Turf Club Syndicate's Class 3, and the off time is at 10-2. And we'll start off in numerical order with number 1, Aspect. What a gutsy horse he's been in his last 3 starts, and since coming back from all those respiratory problems, he's won 3 on the trot, and his last win was so impressive. It looked like Oliver was going to move on right on by him, but Aspect dug deep, he showed plenty of character, and he came out to win once again. Obviously, he has received a penalty for that run, but Aspect, I think he's got a big chance here with a lightweight of just 54 kilograms, despite stepping up in class. Number 2, Fibonacci, the stable companion to number 1, Aspect from the Vaughan Marshall stable. Ashton Aries is the jockey aboard, and the key here is that he drops back in trip to 1,400 meters. Last time out over the mile, the comments and the feedback was that he didn't stay the trip. 1,400 meters, I make him a huge runner from gate number 2, and he certainly must be a runner with a huge chance. Number 8, Tyrion Lannister, another runner that brings in spectacular form. 2 wins on the bounce, and another runner who was gutsy and game in his last efforts. Solomon Seal moved on by, looked like he was going to win, but Tyrion Lannister improving with every run under the belt. He fought right back and was able to win under JP van der Merwe. This time round, Grant van Niekerk is the jockey aboard, as of course JP has been booked to ride number 5, Magic First from the Justin Snaith stable. Those are the runners, and also respect for number 6, Hats Pride, who managed to finish 4th in the Eastern Cape Guineas just a few weeks ago behind Fairy Knight, now back down at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Racehorse, and Richard Faree, an interesting jockey booking for the Glen Cotson stable. Race number 5 is the Race Cape powered by Hollywoodbets Class 4, and it's for the fillies and mares, and the off time is at 2, and it's over the 1,600 meter trip with the field of 9 runners. I think we can narrow this down to about 3 runners here, starting off with number 6, Enchanting Choice, off the back of a very impressive win last time out where she beat Philosophize, who they reopposed once again, and we'll touch on in just a bit. The Enchanting Choice did manage to quicken up best of all last time out over track and trip, and was the victor by 1.5 lengths. This time round, I don't really see why there's a reason the form should change. The only difference favouring Philosophize this time round is that she is 2 kilograms better off at the weights, and she is drawn in gate number 2, which should bring her a lot closer. Also respect for number 1, Hampstead Heath, who's 1.5 kilograms better off than number 6, Enchanting Choice for that run, but I'm quite confident with number 6, Enchanting Choice. I think she will follow up with another win. Race number 6, the off time is at 3 o'clock, and it's over 2,200 meters, and this is the perfectly placed Cape C Stakes. And quite an interesting race. I think we can narrow it down to 3 runners, but it does have that upset potential in the making here. And we'll start off with number 5, Heliotrope. The thing is with these Cape C Stakes, Middle Stakes, as well as Cape B Stakes, you've got to respect the fillies in the race. And Heliotrope, a 3-year-old filly by Rafif, she will claim that sets allowance, and she is best weighted here by 7 points. Improving, she won her last start where she beat English Mistress, and I certainly think she could be the lurker in the patch. She actually has the highest gross merit rating in this race, and she only has 54.5 kilograms to shoulder, so certainly based on the weights, she's a runner that must be respected. Number 2, Marshall Field, an interesting runner. Last time out, he finished 3.7 lengths behind Lightning Glow, and from that form line, there have been 3 winners out of 7 runners that have come through to frank that form line. Penultimate start was over track and trip behind Gimme More Time. That's when JP van der Merwe had the rider with 52.5 kilograms. And Marshall Field stepping back up to that 2,200 meter trip. He's a son of Ideal World out of a Fort Wood mare. He should relish this trip, and he will certainly be flying at the finish. Number 1, Ignatius from the Pete Stain stable. Morne Vinars, the jockey aboard. He is starting to finish closer. He is improving, and he actually holds number 2, Marshall Field, based on the form line over that 2,200 meter trip that we spoke about back on the 10th of February. So wherever Marshall Field finishes, expect Ignatius to be right there in the thick of things. Out of the rest, maybe number 6, Ozark. He can certainly feature. Basically, you can't leave out Richard Faree on anything. So whichever ride that he's been booked for, I think must be respected. So number 6, Ozark, is a runner for this back end of quartets. Race number 7, the Social Squad Syndicate Class 4. It's over the trip of 1,400 meters in a field of 10 runners. The off time is at 25-4. And we'll start off with number 7, Radicchio from the Pete Buerta stable. Looking for a hat-trick of wins. His last start, he beat Oliver by half a length. Back over track and trip. He's unbeaten over this course and distance over 1,400 meters at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Racecourse. And Richard Fourie has been engaged to ride. He has won on him before in his penultimate start, and he should have every chance once again. An interesting run is number 10, Suti from the Paul Reeves stable. Paul Reeves sends out quite a few runners on Tuesday. He's only had the one start over 1,400 meters here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Racecourse, and that was in his last start where he finished behind Aspet and was only finished under a length behind Aspet, receiving half a kilogram. Looked where Aspet runs earlier in the day. If Aspet runs a bid race, expect Suti to run a bid race here. And he does have a wide draw, but I think Suti's certainly progressive. He only had 5 runs under the belt for a win and 3 places, and he's certainly going to improve from here. Number 4, War Chariot. It's his 3rd run after a rest. His last start was in the Newland State over track and trip. That's my only concern, is the 1,400 meter trip here. However, he did finish behind Tyrion Lannister and was giving Tyrion Lannister 2.5 kilograms on that occasion in the non-black type over 1,400 meters. So if he can repeat that sort of run, he's a runner that can be involved. Number 3, Dancing to the Light. Grant Fanicat and Justin Snaith team up in the salts of Mr. Nick Johnson. He's only had the 6 starts to date for a win and 2 places, and only 1 start over 1,400 meters. Drawn in gate number 3, I think he'll actually be finishing off quite well. So number 3, Dancing to the Light, a runner who's ultimately in the same camp as Suti, with his 2nd run over 1,400 meters and open to further improvements. Race number 8, this is the penultimate race of the afternoon. Quite an open race here. It's a sprint over 1,100 meters. It's the hashtag destination race in class 4. The off time is at 4:10 with a field of 12 runners. And we'll start off with number 11, Speed Racer. Super consistent horse. He's had 10 starts and 9 out of his 10 runs he's finished in the first 3. So he's only missed the first 3 on 1 occasion. His last run was his first run out of Maiden Company, where he finished 2nd, and he was it looked like he was a winner for 1,150 meters of the 1,200 meter trip. But Marvel William came home late, flying up on the outside and caught him just on the line. So Speed Racer is certainly the most consistent in the race, and he should be right there once again. But using approach shots in his penultimate start as a line horse, then you have to respect the chances of number 1, Go It Alone, from the Lunder Dealer stable, off the back of a very impressive win back on the 24th of March. He beat approach shot by 3 1/4 lengths. So using approach shots as the line horse, Go It Alone beat him by 3 1/4 lengths. Speed Racer in his penultimate start beat approach shot by 1 length. Go It Alone only gives Speed Racer half a kilogram here, so that certainly gives Go It Alone a big chance if you like the chances of number 11, Speed Racer. It'll certainly be a bittersweet moment if number 12, Benjamin, comes home to win. I've been with him quite a few times, but this certainly looks the right sort of race from his merit rating has dropped to 76, which is off the racing where he won just under a year ago. 3 starts ago, he lost by 1.6 lengths behind Nordic Chief. Nordic Chief obviously came out to frank that form line in no uncertain terms about 2 weeks ago. So certainly that holds all the key cards here for number 12, Benjamin, and Alder de Meyer will be the jockey aboard as he drops back in class to a class 4. Respect for number 5, Mighty Mac. He won quite well last time out after his merit rating absolutely plummeted, but Fourie has opted to keep the ride here for the Paul Reeves runner. The 9th and final race of the afternoon is the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 4 for fillies and mares, and it's over 1,200 meters. The off time is at 4:45. It's a field of 14 runners, and it's never an easy race to assess fillies and mares heading into the lucky last. And there's quite a few runners with a chance here, but we will stick with number 5, Girl Like Us, who we have tipped before. She actually beat Pineapple Mint Green in her last start in that Nordic Quest form line, and we all saw what Pineapple Mint Green did just over a week ago when she came up to win in no uncertain terms. And based on that run alone, I think 5, Girl Like Us, must have a huge winning chance. Gate number 5, lightly raced, 5 starts for a win and 2 placings. And she's a runner that's always been held in high regard from the stable. So number 5, Girl Like Us, we're going to have an each-way shout on her, and she should be at a good each-way price as well. Number 9, Great Cat, another unlucky loser last time out. She finished 2nd behind First Masterpiece. She was caught just on the line, and that was over 1,100 meters. So she does step slightly back up and trip to 1,200 meters. Might that be just a touch too far for her? Well, I guess we'll have to find out. but if she's ridden coldly and she's allowed to run on and finish at them, number 9, Great Cat, certainly can't be without a winning chance. 11, Mia's Harper, interesting runner. She drops in trip, and her only win has been over track and trip. I think she's been quite costly to follow, but this is the right sort of race for her. I really think she can get involved, and certainly a runner you can't leave out of your quartets. Number 6, Ticket to Vegas, the Ricky Maingard runner, and Richard Ferree actually rides Ticket to Vegas. Merit Racing has dropped off to quite a competitive mark, and again, the penultimate start back on the 24th of February, she finished 1 length behind Pineapple Mint Green on that occasion, and we just spoke briefly about Pineapple Mint Green, what she's come out to do. So number 6, Ticket to Vegas, with Richard Ferree aboard, 56.5 kilograms. She could be the lurker in the pack. And that is how we'll close off the race today. Wide open, but plenty of value on offer. I do think that the best bet on the card is most likely 8 on 18 in the second race, and look for a bit of value with Golden Grey on the day in, I think, is race number 3 that we touched on earlier. Other than that, that's all from me. I wish you a great day of racing ahead on Tuesday the 30th of April. If you're in the area, make sure to pop on down to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Racecourse, and it will certainly be a great day of racing ahead.